All right, keep it PG. All right, that's all I'm saying. It's recording.
Wait.
It's recording, Michael.
Oh.
Wait, we can edit it out. It's fine.
No, I'm not editing this. Once it's recorded, like, unless someone drops some, like, F slur or the N word, then I'll edit that out. But don't do that shit, because I don't want to edit.
So it is PG-13.
Yeah.
All right, I call dibs on the F-bomb.
I called dibs on the F.
I call dibs on it.
Got it.
Okay, I already got to edit this. What the fuck? Okay. Why don't you introduce the podcast, Brandon? What is this podcast? That's what you're gonna do. All right, go.
I'm gonna introduce
Welcome to On Bum.
Oh, okay. All right. So this is the On Bum Hill podcast, where we just. All right, we're gonna have to start.
Someone who didn't know about this podcast, there's a whole name and everything.
Right,
Oh, you betcha. Can we?
Look, it says it.
Go ahead.
Okay, this is an On Bum Hill podcast. I'm Harris. I guess I'm the host, and so is Brandon.
I'm Brandon. That's me.
Our guests today are Michael, Dylan, and Ashley. You guys want to introduce yourselves? Starting with Ashley. Otherwise, she'll give me shit.
Hi, I'm Ashley. That's it.
You don't want to say a little bit about yourself?
A little bit about myself. I was a mother at 19. Didn't go to college. Didn't really amount to much.
Damn.
Thanks. All right.
Everyone's like, oh.
Yeah, if you're going alphabetically, then you can go next. Top that.
Yeah, Dylan, you want to go next?
I'm Dylan, same as Ashley.
19?
Yeah, mother at 19, didn't go to college. Actually, no, I think I've amounted to less, not even the mother.
Damn.
Successful, so I mean, my age.
Yeah.
Michael, you want to introduce yourself?
Oh, I'd love to. Hi, I'm Michael. I think I'm pretty funny.
All right.
I don't know what we say. I didn't know it. It was really, the bar was set pretty high for me. I couldn't go off of the mom thing. Now I'm just chilling.
All right. Those were great introductions. Should we introduce ourselves, Brandon? Do hosts do that usually?
Nope. Everybody's there for them. They already know about them, so we're good.
Oh, right. Yeah, they're gonna know about us. You're right. What was I thinking?
Usually in the first episode, you usually do it.
All right.
Brandon, you can go first.
Technically, I heard this was the second episode, but
Technically, it is.
yeah.
Oh, that's true. You knew about that because you saw the audio recording for it. When you said, "Can I listen to this?"
Okay. I'm recording this. You guys can fight later.
Are you gonna edit it out? It's fine.
I'm not editing shit. All right. So keep it PG. When I say PG, I mean don't fucking fight. That's what I mean.
Well, this is
it's clearly
this is
nothing
PG for parental guidance. And as the parents, you need to guide us.
All right, Brandon, just fucking introduce yourself.
All right, so I'm Brandon. I was a dad at 20. I dropped out of college.
Take my introduction. You just stole my whole introduction.
He wasn't the mother.
Then Ashley. So.
He is even less successful than me.
Yep. Then I amounted to less.
True.
Very true.
Yeah, I'm Harris. I wasn't a mother at 20. I'm still in college, even though I hate it. Yeah.
At least we have one person that isn't a mother.
Why don't you guys talk about how
Hey, for the record, I never said I was the mother.
We all know you are.
Thank
Sure.
you.
Okay, well, I mean, I have the hair, so.
And you guys went to college together, right? You and Brandon, and then you guys went to high school together or something like
Yeah,
that?
well, actually, you're correct. We did go to college and then high school together. That's the exact order that happened in.
Okay, but...
Whoa.
Yeah, TV, what the fuck?
No, so Harris and I went to high school. Well, Harris and I and Michael went to high school together.
Yeah.
I never really talked to Michael at all, so I don't really.
No one did. We don't like Michael.
All right, yeah.
Yeah.
So,
The usual.
Harris and I went to college together. Michael went to Plymouth, but Harris and Michael have been friends. And then Harris just met Dylan this year, I guess, right?
I met Dylan last year, but
Seen him ever.
Yeah, I met Harris when we were at a thing, and then I met him again when he threw out. No, my friend threw out his billboard or something.
what?
When didn't Aaron like throw out an entire?
Yeah, Aaron threw out my fucking billboard. I forgot about that. God damn it, Aaron. If Aaron ever watches this, we can give her some shit. Okay, do we want to start on the topics? Does everyone... You know, secrets don't make friends. Secrets don't make friends, that's all I'm going to say.
Well, you said PG.
Is there something you want to share to the class?
Well, thanks for asking, though. So, life after high school.
Yeah, I thought we'd start with something lighthearted, you know, and all of us graduated about the same except Ashley. You graduated 2018, right, Ashley?
Yeah, I graduated in 2018. I spent a few months out of high school, and then Brandon got me pregnant. And then, yeah, I actually just got accepted.
I just want to say, I believe it takes 2 for that.
Okay, but I believe that the action in itself, is all him, all that.
All right, if we really want to get into it.
It was literally
PG, guys, PG. What the fuck did I say? I said PG.
So
I thought we were gonna start on masturbation.
What? we can't have inside jokes. I didn't record that part.
What do you mean? I honestly thought we were gonna start on.
No, not at all. I was just sharing that to you guys.
Right here. I'm not an expert in any other field.
Yeah, so I only had a summer out of high school, but I got pregnant. Brandon, you're taking the laptop. I got pregnant in August, but I actually just got accepted into Keene and Plim when I found out I was pregnant, like the week of.
Oh.
Yeah, because I wanted to take it like a semester off or whatever. And so I was going to go second semester into my freshman year, and I got pregnant. But I worked at Target. When I got pregnant, I worked at Target. And then I just kept moving up and up and up. And now I'm at a pretty good job, and I get paid decent. And I have really good benefits.
Where do you work now, actually? If that's okay. I remember you working that night shift, or that night job. You're still working nights, right?
Yeah, I work nights because it works for the parents, you know, because he works first shift, I work second shift, then we just swap. I work at Aurora Diagnostics and Pathology.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we do some lab work, testing. Like right now we're actually doing COVID testing, all that stuff.
Holy shit.
That's dope.
Definitely a good time for that business.
Yeah, it's fun. Yeah. Well, right now it's fun because there's just a lot going on.
Did you expect yourself getting pregnant right after high school? I assume not. That'd be kind of weird if you did.
Yeah, I was like, oh, I want a baby right now. No.
Definitely.
Some people are like that. Some people are like, oh, you know what? I'm ready to pop one out.
Well, I definitely wasn't. No.
Is that what happened with you, Michael?
Yeah, but for some reason, it just doesn't work for me. I don't know. I've been trying for a few years now. Just haven't even seen a peak yet, dude. Not even a peak.
No.
No, I didn't.
Salads on.
I didn't expect to get pregnant after high school, obviously, but like we were pretty good, and you know, we had a really long conversation, obviously, and I have a great support system. Like my family is literally like taking Elena all the time. So, well, they were, which was when we lived closer.
Is she sleeping? I assume she's sleeping right now.
Yeah.
Is that why you were late, Brandon? Is that part of it?
Sure.
No, he just forgot, and then when you called him, he was like, oh, "I'm supposed to be in that Zoom meeting."
I was like, oh, he's late because of Elena. It's all good. It's all good.
Yeah.
Elena goes to bed at 8.
She stayed up so
Oh, what a
late.
pretty name,
She
Elena.
just fell asleep.
No, she didn't.
Yes, she did. You can't even tell me that she didn't because she's been making noise for so long.
Brandon, she
Oh
fell
my
asleep
God.
at
All right. Expectations after high school. Michael, what? No.
8:45.
No.
So, are you guys ambidextrous?
No,
Someone else-
I wish I was, but no. Solid no.
Did you try to be ambidextrous, Brandon?
Yes.
Yeah, a
He's
little
tried
bit.
so many fucking weird shit.
Yeah, I know.
So weird shit. And like he never follows through with
Why
any
are
of
you
it.
even like on my?
Oh my God, that was so harsh. That's the hardest thing I've ever heard in my life, Brandon. I know you can follow through. You solve a Rubik's Cube, so like you do follow through on some things.
No, okay, so he does follow. So no, he does learn. He does learn how to do it.
I would hope so.
He learns the basic, like the most.
Oh, can you do the basic of a Rubik's Cube, actually?
Okay.
I think I would if I wanted
As
to.
far as-
I'm just saying.
Like I stopped at a 3x3. Like I could do a 3x3. Fine. I never learned how to like speed solve it. I never learned how to solve a 4x4 or like any of the other ones. So that's like I did the average. I spent like an afternoon or two learning how to juggle 3 things and then just stopped. So I'm like
Brandon and I are literally the same person though, because all the things you've done, I think I've done too. Probably like I learned how to juggle. I probably went a little bit farther with Rubik's Cubes. I can kind of do a 4x4. Like
yeah.
Kind of. I think you can
I
too. To be
have
fair.
solved one, but I had to like keep looking up.
Okay, see, then you're farther than me. I haven't solved one, but I also haven't like looked up algorithms for it. I was just trying to like do it without looking shit up. But I'm not here to jerk myself.
I wasn't that committed.
But the topic is supposed to be, so like my thought process of this is like we've been out of high school for how long at this point? The 4 of us. We graduated in 2017. So it's 3 years. Yeah, and we're all seniors in college, minus Brandon and Ashley, but that's fine. You know, children and shit. But
yeah.
Losers.
Wow.
Whoa. Well, excuse me.
It's supposed to be a friendly podcast. It's supposed to be a friendly podcast.
That was family friendly. I give my sister shit. I can give people shit. That's family friendly.
Cammy doesn't have a baby.
Yet.
I already have to edit this so much.
We're gonna have to go like 2 hours over if you want the podcast length to be.
Okay. My thought process with this topic was that we're all graduating relatively soon. The 3 of us are still in college. And like if you guys or if Brandon that stayed in college, you would be graduating this year and Ashley would be graduating next year or whatever. Like I'm sure, like I already kind of remember what my expectations were after high school. I was just kind of interested in what your guys' expectations were. Has any of that come to fruition? I don't know. If this isn't interesting, we have to talk about it. I just thought like.
No, what I expected. I expected like a way longer time to be like independent. But I expected to like do that struggle, like summer struggle, and like in the movies where they're like barely getting by, but they're still going to like fucking Paris and shit like that. Like I expected that kind of life, but I had a baby.
Were you expecting that, Brandon?
I can't say I watched enough of those movies to be expecting that.
We're completely different. Don't expect our answers to be the same.
Similar enough to have a child together, though. So.
Right. Yeah. I don't know. I never expected to have a kid either. I expected to just like go to college, do what everyone else does. I was gonna study abroad. I think that would have happened like last year. And like go to Spain, travel and stuff. Yeah. So I haven't done anything that I expected to. I did a little bit of college, obviously, before.
Was that what you expected? Was the college, did it meet your expectations or not?
I don't think I had like a lot of expectations going into it. I think it was, I don't know, it was a lot more similar to high school than I thought it would be, like as far as goes. Because I mean, there was a little bit more of it, but I still did it the same way. Did like last minute.
True.
Had like a lot more free time. But yeah, I don't know. I didn't like expect much from it, to be honest.
What about you, Michael and Dylan? Do you have anything to?
This super weird roommate though, so that kind of ruined it for me.
Yeah.
I remember.
Yeah. Awful.
I could see it.
Wow. Michael, Dylan, expectations after high school.
Who do you want to talk? Michael
Either.
or Dylan?
Just fucking pick one. I don't give a shit. All right.
All right, Dylan, it's you.
Cool.
We should have a segment where it's just like Harris freaks the fuck
Hey,
out.
Ashley, you're interrupting my good friend Dylan. Can you maybe just not do that? Thanks.
Oh, sorry,
Okay,
Dylan. Go ahead. Sorry, Harris, you're interrupting me. So go ahead, Dylan.
Okay. Yeah. Cool.
Good
Sure.
friend.
Friend.
Well, I don't know. I kind of felt the same way as Brandon. I didn't really have many expectations. I just kind of I don't really think to the future that much. Like I applied to 4 schools like in February of my senior year, I think, which is really late in the process. Like I was at the deadline for applying. So I was just like, you know what, this is expected of me, so I'm gonna do it. So I was like, I'll go into nursing because that's cool. So I managed to get into, I think, all of the schools. I didn't get into one of the nursing programs. But I just I don't really plan ahead personally. Like I don't have a lot of expectations for things. I don't care about expecting stuff to happen because I couldn't give a shit half the time because things kind of play out as they do. So I just kind of went into it and it's worked out decently well so far, surprisingly, with my thinking 3 days ahead foresight. But yeah, I honestly didn't enter having many expectations. I made friends. I've stopped talking to some. I've continued talking to others. I've switched majors. Didn't expect like a lot of stuff to happen that has, but I don't regret a lot of it. So yeah.
Brandon and I have like slightly talked about this before, like going into things without like expectations, like kind of like things just kind of fucking happen, and then like I don't know, we just like go with it, I guess. So like I don't know, like
I feel like it's more satisfying
to have expectations or not.
Like not having expectations, because if you have expectations, what I found is if you work something up, you're like, it's like the candy bar mentality. You're like, yo, can't wait to get home. Can't wait to get that candy bar. It's going to taste so good. It's going to melt just right in my mouth. I'm going to slurp it up. But then you get home and it's like it's already like, it's kind of cold on one side, but like melted on the other. And it's like it's shaped weird and it's just disappointing. And that's why like, just don't have expectations. And I think you'll get more out of life.
What kind of candy bars are you eating?
All of them. Just name one and I probably eat.
No, this is something we talked about too. How you always get your hopes up about things and they never go the way you want. And then
Brandon and Ashley.
Hey, I
they're out there. I think their things probably just fucked. Keep. What were you saying, Michael? Sorry.
I know that was pretty much it.
Yeah. I kind of feel the same way though. Like I don't really care for expectations as much because I don't have a lot of foresight in that regard. My girlfriend has the most foresight possible. Like she's thought her life out into her like late 30s. I'm pretty certain.
Oh shit.
Yeah, she's like she has a timeline for everything.
So is there like a pressure on you right now where she's like,
no,
yo, 27's the only a few years away, you might want to think about that ring, don't know.
Yeah, I don't really get pressured on the stuff because I don't like taking shit from people.
Yeah, that's fair.
Like that. So I just kind of, I don't know. I don't like feeling like, I don't know. It's a hard feeling to describe, just going in with very few expectations and leaving with like, could have been worse kind of thing. Because I don't know where that mentality like kind of rose from, because I don't think I came from that kind of household. But it's not something that I regret by any means. I think it's helped me along the way quite a bit.
Well, I know like Brandon and I, like going into college, I didn't really have a goal for anything, and like I don't think you did either. Did either of you have like goals coming into college or? just get a degree and that was it? Like,
I mean, the whole like 2 years that I was in college, I was still undeclared as a major. So
yeah, you were.
I would say no. I didn't have any goals. I honestly just went because like at this point you kind of need to go to college just to get a job, even if it isn't relevant what you studied. Like a lot of places just look that you went to college. So I went because of that, and like everyone, I don't know, it's just what you did. Like even in high school, they like had like talks with you and like helped you apply for colleges and stuff. And so I just like went along with that process. I didn't like, I wouldn't have really cared if I went or not. I mean, I'm glad that I did. Like I enjoyed it while I was there, but yeah, I didn't have any goals or anything.
I really think that's a bit of an issue with high schools. They put such like incredible amounts of pressure on high school students to enter college that things like community college and trade schools don't really enter the view as much as they should, because trades are like probably the most important professions.
I would agree. A trade of some sort is pretty. I feel like is almost more valuable and more cost effective than going to college sometimes.
Yeah, that's a good point. Like no one in high school ever talked about trade schools or anything. It was all like the big colleges like UNH and all those.
It was also like for community colleges, it would also be like, they wouldn't discourage it, but it would be like, oh, it's okay to go there too. Like it was never like that's a very smart decision. It's cheaper. You're close to home. It would always be like, that's okay too. Like it kind of like, it's not good enough to go to a community college, even though for a lot of people, it's a way smarter decision. It gets the same fucking degree. You're just,
it's cheaper first 2 years, get all those pointless classes out of the way, and then you can go to your like actual major.
Yeah, it's really cost effective. It can actually help you learn what you want to do without spending north of $20,000 just to figure out, oh, I want to get this degree, or I don't want to go to college. Like it's a much more effective way in fleshing out what you want to do, getting those kind of BS courses out of the way, and saving up a buttload of money. I mean, a lot of times I think people are also pressured to go to schools that their friends are going to as well. A lot of times that isn't community college, because community college tends to be a thing that people do while like working or living at home. It's more of like it's a less I guess intensive process from what I've heard from some people. Like it's more passive, I guess. But maybe I actually, I wish I had more knowledge about that going into leaving high school, like knowledge of trade schools, community colleges. I
think it's also like a lot about like parties. I know probably not you guys, but for a good amount of my friends and the people that they talk to and stuff like that, they looked at like the independence factor and like being super far away from home and kind of like going to parties and stuff like that. So I think that has a lot to do with the decision.
Do I not look like a fucking party person, actually?
No.
Yeah, you're
a party wannabe. I
was roommates with Brandon, and he has a kid now, so I feel like that's some indication of what type of person I am. We're pretty crazy.
That shows more of an indication with kind of person that he is, as you don't have a kid.
Something I was gonna. Fuck you.
I really don't think that any of you would go to like parties like that, but maybe Michael.
Ooh, denied.
Yeah, denied. I one time went to the party with Brandon. It's your sister's party.
Yeah.
For like one time.
And we stood around and then we left.
The party, it was fucking boring. I don't know. It wasn't fun.
Yeah, I didn't know anybody there, so what's the point?
Brandon used to yell at me for going to parties.
Wow.
I used to party every weekend, and Brandon would be like, you have to go out every weekend. I was like 18, and you're going to tell 18-year-old me that I can't go party? Brandon was like, I'm good.
The question, wait. Here's the question, though.
No, we're not being marriage counselors. I don't want any hand in this.
No, the question
Any hand in this at all. So actually, something I wanted to bring up. I noticed that Dylan had said that, or in general, you guys had said that you guys didn't hear much about trade schools and stuff like that. I only heard about trade schools. So I was in like auto and shit like that. So I like heard about trade. Like I applied to like many trade schools. So I thought I was gonna go to college or a trade school for cars before I decided to go to Keene. So I heard a shit ton of that. So maybe it's something that they advertise that to people who have already showed interest into that. Maybe I don't know how true that is, but
I would think. I mean, that makes sense. Just because there would definitely be a bias depending on what classes you're taking. Because obviously, if you're taking something like auto or woodwork or anything like that, the instructor probably has a background in their trade that they're teaching, obviously. So they'll be leaning more toward the bias of, oh, trade school would definitely be the way to go. But at the same time, though, even if you were to like address the bias in schools, I think that it would be the right reasons why. Because the assumption is, oh, if they're in this class, obviously they must enjoy it. Maybe I should point them towards this direction. So I think it's still, at the end of the day, a student learning curve and student-driven aspects to finding different sources of where they might do after high school or what they might do after high school.
It's also, I think, heavily dependent on what the high school offers to begin with, because my high school, the closest thing we had to a trade was like engineering classes, kind of, but we didn't have any trades and like nothing even close, which is probably why it wasn't really offered as much, because like, and especially like senior year and the latter half of junior year, it was all like, get ready for college applications, get your college essay done, do this internship. It's going to be really good for getting ready for your college career or major. Like it was all oriented towards preparing for college. Like I heard nothing about trades, and I knew so little of any of them because my high school didn't have any information or ways to go about learning about that trade. There was just nothing. That's just the high school that I went to. It wasn't even a bad high school. It just, that wasn't a thing that they had going on for them.
Yeah, I remember in high school for us, we always talked shit about our school, but honestly, Dover was a pretty nice, thinking back, was a pretty nice school. Like we had a lot of different programs and stuff like that. Like we had we had a barn and shit where
animal science.
We're the vet techs. Yeah, for vet techs.
Yeah.
Huge.
Yeah,
other
huge. Other schools came to Dover to do the program.
Yeah.
It's literally the size of your school store. So
yeah, her graduating class was 60 people. Ours was
what? Where did you go actually?
310. Newmarket. It's just
Newmarket's small?
Yeah. It's been small. When my mom graduated forever ago, she had 40 people in her class.
I knew someone with 12.
What? Well,
I know someone that had 12 in their graduating class.
That's just homeschooled at that point.
Yeah. Just do a one-room
single building. Just actually, now that I think about it, we did have a sort of trade school near me. So there were options for people that wanted to pursue that route, but they had to go into a high school preparing for that or transfer high schools, because we had a Essex Agricultural, which is not far from me. I'd say a 10-minute drive maybe. But it was a completely different high school, and we had no connections there. So there were options around us, but
they weren't advertising it though.
Pretty much, it was they wanted people to go to their high high school, Danvers High School. So there was an option for that, which is probably one of the reasons that wasn't as emphasized in my high school, because they had this school that was pretty much all trade based, from what I can tell. So now that I think about it, it does make sense that my high school didn't offer as much, because we were offering what Essex Ag didn't. I guess. Like, we were kind of different, and we were covering what the other person didn't, essentially, from what I can tell. I had like 5 high schools near me, like within my town and like kind of around. There were like 5 options, not even like town high schools. There was just a ton of high schools near me. I had no idea why.
We just had like Dover and Dover. That was it. We actually had like other towns come to Dover too, right? We had Barrington, like Nottingham.
I don't know that Barrington had like a really good high school. Nottingham, I don't know that they even have one. So they came to Dover.
Yeah.
And then like I know that Somersworth students and maybe another town.
Rockefeller. Oh, that's not the fucking name of the town. It starts with an R though. It's not Rochester. Rockingham.
Rochester.
That's a county, isn't it?
No, Rockingham's a town.
Is it?
No, I think Rockingham's the county.
God,
I just thought that was what you're thinking of.
So there's a town next to Dover. I only know this because I worked with this.
Rochester.
No, it's not Rochester. But she went to a Somersworth school. She didn't live in Dover. She went to the Somersworth. She went in this small. It's right next to Dover. It's called like it starts with an R. It's a super small town.
Rollinsford.
It might be Rollinsford.
Maybe.
Is that close to Dover?
I don't think it's too far.
Rollinsford is further.
But she went to Somersworth, and she worked at like R. Hannaford in Dover. So I don't know.
Weird. Yeah, so other places could go to Dover for the programs at least.
Rochester is also pretty close.
Fuck Rochester. Fuck Spalding.
Rollinsford is actually really close.
Yeah, so it's probably Rollinsford.
It's Rollinsford. I remember now.
Okay.
Look at that. I'm just so smart. I remember things. Wow.
Google.
Ooh, debatable.
What were you talking about with Rollinsford? I wasn't listening. I was on the map helping.
Okay. Fuck all of you is what I'm hearing.
What you say?
What the fuck, Brandon? You're supposed to be a host. What the fuck's going on? Brandon, I need you to look me in the eyes right now, here. Pal. Focus.
Okay. Well, you're looking down, and I'm also looking down.
Brandon, look in the camera. Focus.
Yes, I am.
All right? I need you to be on my side, pal. All right.
All right. So how does everybody feel about COVID? What's going on with that?
Wow.
Yeah, I got it under control.
Yeah, I've never felt so controlled.
He is a very dominating force. Brandon's very dominating.
No comment.
We've ran through like simulation podcasts so many times. Like we've got I don't even know what the expression is, but smooth sailing from here. All right, so COVID.
Okay, we can start with this. What is your guys' experience with COVID? Like, it's relatively probably pretty similar to us, but like, it's probably affected you and Ashley way more than it's affected like me.
Why?
Because I don't need money, really.
Oh, because I don't need money.
I don't. Like, I'm pretty. I spent like $200 the other day on
minimalist. You're very minimalist.
I'm not a minimalist. I literally just spent $200 on like a figure that I
like $18
Oh, yeah,
on
true.
No, Michael, don't say fucking shit about it. I don't want to hear it from you right now, all right?
When is it supposed to be again?
All right, second segue. What's the figure? Now we're talking about it.
No, we're not talking about it.
So
it's just nerdy shit. It's just nerdy shit. That's all it is. Like
we're intrigued.
Yeah, we all figured that.
You guys didn't want to. Okay, point is, I was saying.
So
still wondering what this figure is.
So the way that COVID has affected us.
Thank you, Ashley.
So specifically Brandon, actually you can talk about your own shit. So specifically for me.
Amen to that.
Okay, specifically for me, so my job for loadman, which means you're not fired, but you don't get paid.
What was it? What did you just say? I'm sorry. What was it? What was the word? Furloughed. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So you get furloughed, and then, so I applied to Target, and Target actually hooked me up. It's I get 40 hours a week, and I get paid like $16.50, and so for Target that's pretty good. Obviously I'm at higher risk because I'm around people all the time.
Yeah.
But I'm freaking healthy as a horse. First day in condition, bitch. Why are you looking at me like that? I'm great. So I've done well. We're super like, we wash our hands every time we touch our daughter and stuff like that. So we really haven't had a huge pay. Like we've had like, obviously from like my other well-paying job to this, we've had like a little bit of a pay cut, but not too bad. We got really lucky. And Brandon keeps getting, maybe I shouldn't say that because I don't know if your job's not listening, but.
Damn. All right.
I'll forward it to David.
Well, I'm just saying that you probably shouldn't go there.
Yeah, no, I know.
Yeah, just selling his mad drugs
to
the cartel.
Yeah, so people still need those. So my business hasn't taken a hit much. Yeah. No, but yeah, my job, they already had like the ability for people to work remote. So they just made it so that pretty much everyone's working remote.
Really good content.
Yeah, and there's a few people that have to go in to the building, like IT and at least one person in finance to handle like checks and stuff that we deal with. And then me and my coworker, because we open all the like actual like physical mail and do all the like scanning and stuff to get it into the system. So I still go in for half days and then I just work the other half remote. So that's really the only like change that's affected me is now I get out at 12 instead of 4:30. But I don't know, it still feels like kind of what? Yeah. So it still feels kind of like distant in a way. Like neither of us have really had any contact or any like connection to anyone with
That we know.
Yeah, that we know of with COVID. So I don't know, it still feels like I'm kind of just like watching it go on. Hasn't really done much to us.
But we've had a lot of family time. We've had like a lot of time to spend together. A lot of time. Actually, I think like I'm not saying I'm grateful for COVID, but I'm grateful for quarantine because I spend so much time with my family. I've called my mom like a lot. I've called my mom a lot more, and I used to not do that. I just like talk to my siblings a little bit more. I used to talk to them still a lot, but I talk to them a little bit more. I just kind of appreciate seeing them when I do see them, talking to them. I appreciate spending so much time with my daughter because she's like in the years where they're going to grow wicked fast. So
yeah, I think that's a big thing.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I used to see Elena for like 2 hours a night, and then she would go to bed. But now I get to see her for like half a day every day. So it's a lot better in that sense.
And I used to miss like nights, like I used to miss dinner, like late evening, whatever. I used to miss it all. And now I don't really, not when I'm not working and stuff like that, I don't. So quarantine is good.
Can you say all again, Ashley? Can you say the word all again?
No. I don't know what you want to do with that, so no.
Did anyone else hear that? She said it was like a fucking accent, like a fucking like Boston accent.
All.
Yeah, she went like all some shit. I don't know.
What'd you do with your mouth just then?
Fuck you.
What's wrong? All? We were all?
Owl.
I don't know. You just.
All.
All of it.
A bit. No, I think you're in your head about it.
Yeah, me too. All. Oh.
So oh my god, you two are gross. I hate people who are in love. God damn it. Okay.
What the hell? I didn't say we're not. I just said who said that. We didn't bring it.
Damn. Okay.
Yours always.
You guys are literally the worst. You guys, next time we do this, if you come on, Ashley, you need a separate camera to yourself. All right?
Separate cameras.
There needs to be separation between you two.
We're gonna be literally next to each other.
apart.
Right here.
Yeah, 6 feet apart. 6 feet apart, you two.
We're in the middle of a pandemic, and you're sitting that close.
You'll have your own camera.
Do you?
Get out.
Oh my God, Michael and Dylan, do you have anything to add? How has your COVID experience been? I mean, same. Literally has barely changed my life, but
Very succinct.
I live my life like it's a pandemic normally, so I'm good.
Oh, you're
The
what
only
was that
difference is
sentence?
I don't talk to people or do things. You kidding me? I mean, all I really like, the only things that it's affected me in is like me not being able to see the people that I kind of want to see now. Like I haven't seen my family in a hot
Dylan,
minute.
you see me every day, Dylan. What do you mean?
Not you. I don't care about you.
Oof.
And then there's
Oof.
Okay.
and I haven't been able to see my girlfriend since, well, at this point it's like I think 2 months, a little over 2 months, and she's like 300 miles away in Maine.
Right.
And I can't go to Maine without having to stay for 2 weeks. And
Yeah.
that's 2 weeks of work that I don't want to miss.
Yeah.
Right.
And so, but in terms of day to day, it's honestly not affecting me that much. I really don't do anything anyway, so I'm just chilling.
What about you, Michael?
It's definitely had an impact. A lot of personal stuff. Happened because of this, and honestly, this no.
I'll make sure to send this video directly to them if you do elaborate.
Yeah. Maybe an email.
Definitely has been revealing. I will say that much. I'll say that much. It definitely shows. I feel like this whole pandemic has definitely revealed some true colors of some people, and it's definitely made me reevaluate. Definitely made me reevaluate exactly what I kind of want to do with moving forward. I think my life. One thing this has done, I will agree with, is definitely like made it. It's kind of like a blessing in disguise. I've been able to have like obviously a lot more time on my hands, because as soon as this whole thing came around and it got very severe, I was in my spring break, and by the end of my spring break, they pretty much called off the whole semester, and we went to online strictly classes. Got all my stuff, moved in with my girlfriend, and was able to. A lot of assignments started being dropped and things like that, and the semester became pass-fail, and pretty much the semester felt almost like a waste, school-wise and money-wise. But
True.
the silver lining is I had a ton of extra time, and I will admit a lot of it wasted. Wasted a lot of it.
How are you not ambidextrous by now, though?
Me?
Yeah, Brandon. Wait, Brandon didn't have extra
so
time like we did. Yeah, never mind.
Yeah, it's true. I still have the same amount of time.
Yeah, we don't really have extra. We probably have less time now, honestly, because you come home from work and you're still working, and then you don't even have like a drive. You don't have lunch, nothing. Your whole lunch is here taking care of Elena when I'm at work.
I've definitely talked to Brandon less since the whole pandemic, and I didn't even talk to I don't talk to you nearly like as much as I want to, anyways. But like during COVID, like
he's literally part of this wedding.
Okay.
He's like, I never talk to this kid, but I'm gonna be on the aisle with him. Like, what the heck?
Well, he's not gonna.
You know what I mean?
It's not like that.
What?
Are you guys gonna shout at your wedding at the end? We're just gonna have a.
Anyway, Michael, go on.
Nobody watching this is gonna be invited, so.
Anyways, so rudely interrupted. Don't even remember what I was talking about at this point.
God damn it,
you
Ashley.
talking about wasting time masturbating.
Destroyed. Oh, how I wasted time masturbating. Yeah, that was the big one. That was the big one. I wouldn't say
so many truths.
7, but I would definitely say 12-6 at least.
A day?
12-6. I fucking hate you. That's a stupidest joke.
That's a weekly average about. Moral of the story: I wasn't as productive physically. Definitely not as productive physically, and with gyms closed, definitely, and with starting up the business. Honestly, the only silver lining with business-wise and physical activity-wise is definitely got to get a big handle on business planning and figuring out how we're going to launch and everything like that. But I think this Corona definitely helped with more of like my mental state, and definitely brought to like more of, made me realize a little bit more of what I like emotionally was at and what I emotionally wanted to do moving forward and that kind of thing. And I think that in itself can be, you know, it's productive. It's productive.
Do you just want to mention your business right now, just so we know what the fuck you're talking about?
Me? Yeah.
Yeah, you.
So business that I am starting up right now. Starting it up with one of the guys named Nick Rogers. Very close friend of mine. We're starting up this personal training business and nutrition coaching business for aiming towards more to athletics, but we are open to the general public. It's called ToughBodyFitness. And we do rehab, anything from rehab to just basic training. Like, we very custom made goals is what we do. If you have a goal in mind, even if you struggle with it for years, we have very like flexible approaches to every goal and every lifestyle you could possibly have. And that's pretty much our business.
That's really cool. It was really cool. We'll show out your Instagram at the end.
You guys laughing at that? I'm just here listening intently.
Yeah, Dylan's so respectful. Dylan's like, I know. I like personal.
I see the value in you and your business.
Honest, thank you. I'm glad someone does.
I'm just gonna say that Dylan's quality is really good compared to the rest of ours.
You mean a person or?
Yeah, no. Objectively, Ashley and Brandon's quality is the worst.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. We don't have great Wi-Fi.
You mean video quality?
No. I just audio. You need to get some fucking headphones next time, you asshole.
First of all, your quality is shit. All right.
Probably, but at least I have headphones. Like,
you need a haircut, so whatever.
Oh wow, you got me actually. So do you. Fuck you, dude. Like.
Have you ever seen The Willoughbys?
The what?
The Willoughbys is a new movie on Netflix.
Fuck you, dude. Fuck you. I know. No, fuck you. I don't hear it.
Look like The Nanny.
You look like.
Just Google it if you want, but that's what your hair looks like.
Just Google it if you want.
Harris, where'd you go? You fall down?
He fell.
You got life alert? Harris, where'd you life alert?
Fuck you guys. Fuck you.
What the? Is he gonna help you? Is he gonna help you up? I hope he comes into your screen.
I just went and opened my door to make sure you didn't storm out of the apartment.
Good on you.
Shit. What the fuck was I gonna say? Fuck you guys.
This was PG.
That's what I was gonna say. I was gonna fuck you.
Did you look at a list to remember that?
No.
COVID.
Yeah, I wrote that down.
Fuck you guys.
Wow.
So something that's been.
Your hair looks more like it now that you took the hat off, but.
Can we pull it up on the screen? Can we pull it up on the screen?
Pandemic, but like,
screen sharing.
How's the world going with it?
No. Hold on. Before we get to that, so I wanted to talk about. Excuse me? Fuck you, Brandon. I don't know what you're saying, but I don't like it. So shut up.
I asked if we were still on your hair, but you started talking, so keep going.
Brandon, go ahead. Just say whatever the fuck you want. I don't care anymore. Disrespected by my own host.
No, I was just asking a question. No, I'm interested in what you have to say. Please.
How do you guys think our country handled COVID in general.
No.
Well, he just.
Did I not just bring that up? What the hell?
No, you said the world. You said the world. The world's very different from our country.
All right, so we're starting a country.
I agree. Right. I agree. The world's definitely different from our country.
Yeah.
So I agree too.
Very controversial statement. I know.
Okay.
Freedom's bullshit.
Freedom's bullshit. Is that what you said?
Do you want to elaborate on that, my friend Owen?
No.
All right. Well.
Nope. That's the end. Nope. That's about sums it up. It sums it up.
Alrighty.
Oh, so you're not going to elaborate at all?
Why would I?
He just told you no. He just said that.
What do you think, Brandon or Michael or Ashley? How do you think our country, from our president to our states to our officials, to our governors and such, how do you think they handle it? Especially because we all live in New Hampshire. So yeah, we're all in New Hampshire. How do you think like our state handled it?
Poorly.
Poorly?
I think our state handled it pretty well.
I think our state, no, because the way that the states around us, so specifically talking, I can't talk about like our country or whatever, but specifically our state, New Hampshire, we literally waited for every other state to start doing something before we started doing something. Like
but there was a reason though. Like we didn't have as many cases as the states.
Yes, we did.
No,
we did. At one point, we literally had as many cases as Massachusetts.
Yeah, but it was still. And the other thing too is the population density is a factor for the closings. That's why like some states close. Like we had cities, the main cities closed down first, and then those state closures.
I felt like everything was super delayed, and it just didn't go as well as it could have. When I feel like, I don't know, I feel like action should have been taken sooner than when it did. Because it just went freaking insane. And everyone started freaking out. And it could have been handled a lot, like, I don't know, a lot more gracefully than, because everyone was like buying, like emergency buying and stuff like that, because there was like this rumor of you're only going to have 24 hours to get what you need, and then you're going to be in lockdown, you can't leave your house. There was like so much stuff, and that's like, I mean, that's also like social media's fault. You can't really control what social media posts and stuff like that, because it's going to happen either way. But I don't know, I feel like when social media, obviously the government and everything like that, they know that social media is going to be a huge factor in this. So I feel like it could have been a little bit more guided and a little bit more like, oh no, these rumors are not true. This isn't going to happen. This is what's going to happen. You know what I mean? Like we should have had like a little bit of more guidance than what happened.
In defense of New Hampshire, Massachusetts has the 4th highest confirmed case count.
Yeah, Massachusetts.
New Hampshire's way lower. Like I think Massachusetts is nearing 100,000.
We have 4,000.
It's definitely, and it's also because of the population density and how often there's a city there too. Like one of the major cities of the world is Boston in Mass. So that's definitely a factor.
Yep. And New Hampshire has had
4,000. 4,000, yeah, confirmed.
And I think part of the
Only
issue there is
deaths.
just southern New Hampshire, the travel in between the states, especially for work. It definitely should have been restricted much earlier on.
So we actually restricted March 13th, which compared to the rest of the country was pretty early.
When you say restricted, what do you mean?
We apparently we went into a state of emergency March 13th. And then closing down businesses March 15th and such.
Yep.
That doesn't sound.
I mean,
that was not when they went into lockdown. That was
no.
That was when they initiated. Oh, it is a state of emergency. Like, and I believe it was also federal too, state of emergency. I think right? Am I wrong about that?
I thought it was March. I'm looking at the New Hampshire timeline. I'm not looking at the world or
okay.
US
I think it was either the same day, and most states ended up declaring it on that day, or it was within the same few days of the federal state of emergency that the president announced. And that was what initiated, I think, the beginning of people starting to hoard things like toilet paper, was because that hasn't happened. Like some generations right now, like haven't even seen that like at all. Because I think the last time that was like World War II.
Probably, yeah,
right?
something like that.
I think it was World War II. There was a state of emergency or a couple of them. But even then, they weren't for a pandemic necessarily, like, although there was also a pandemic at the time. I'm not quite sure, though, if that was one of the state of emergencies.
There was also a time where we were, like, scared that we wouldn't be able to find... Did you have to do that right when I started talking?
Sorry. Start talking right when I had to do this.
There also was a time where we were scared we wouldn't be able to get, like, things for our daughter because everybody was, like, they would be buying toilet paper. No, they would be buying wipes because they were out of toilet paper, like baby wipes. And you can't use toilet paper on a baby's butt. Doesn't work like that, okay?
Even if there was any.
Even if there was any, yeah. And then if they were out of like sanitizing wipes, they'd buy baby wipes. And they started buying formula because there wasn't any milk. They started getting the formula. So I needed to show up at like 6 o'clock in the morning at a Walmart right when they got their shipment in so that somebody in the back can grab us formula. Like that's how we were like scared. We would, and we had to order online. Yeah, there was like, it was such a scary moment because we weren't scared of the pandemic, we weren't scared of COVID because like, we really thought like the probability of us getting it very low, okay? And it affecting us very low. We're healthy, young people, very low. So we weren't scared about it. The thing is that it was a huge domino effect because the people who were scared about it, they would wipe out the whole store. But then the people that weren't scared about it, but they were scared about the whole store being wiped out, they would wipe out the rest of the store, and then they would wipe out that store, and then it's a whole domino effect. Even if people aren't scared, they're scared of not being able to have supplies for the next week instead of like being able to just drop by the store tomorrow. So
yeah, we used to go to the store like a couple times a week just to pick up like random things here and there, and then because everybody was like making it a huge thing and taking everything and buying things they didn't even need, like more than they needed. Like everyone then had to do that because all of a sudden toilet paper is out all the time. So when you finally find it, you may have 20 rolls already, but you don't know when the next time you're going to get it is. So you buy a bunch.
Yeah.
Now people have like hordes of stuff and nobody can get anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was definitely a fucking, like, again, COVID hasn't really affected me all that much, but like I remember like the first time I went to like Walmart, like I went to the toilet paper section just to see, and there wasn't any fucking paper towels, there was no fucking toilet paper, all cleaning products were gone. I was like, holy fucking shit. Like it was just like people being stupid so quick. Like I was so surprised that people were.
You know what there was though? Sandpaper.
Wow.
Just throwing it out there.
Put them in the waiting room.
You know what's an interesting topic that got brought up at work actually? We were like talking about how everyone's going like frantic and washing their hands all the time and cleaning their spaces. And you know what to think about? What the fuck were you doing before? If you have to buy this much product and you're complaining about washing your hands this much, did you never wash your hands, Kathy? Did you never wash your hands?
Kathy. Did you never
Damn, Kathy.
Like, did you never?
Kathy, I hope you're seeing this. You're thinking about your decisions.
Yeah.
I think paranoia is just a really interesting thing, though, because, like, people don't need to go to that degree a lot of the time. They don't need to intensively wash down everything they have. But when paranoia is factored in, especially with a decent reason for it, like an insanely contagious disease that has the capability of killing someone or your loved ones, like that just puts whatever like idea that you had, like, oh, gotta just keep germs away, just be healthy. It puts that in the overdrive, like there cannot be anything near me that might get anyone sick. If anyone has touched any of this, then it has to be wiped down. It just puts any rational idea into a state of like extreme, so that people will do whatever they think they need to make sure that they like self-preservation goes into overdrive.
Yeah,
I have a question.
Yeah.
Wait, I have a question. Who here? Do you guys know people don't wash their thumbs?
Don't wash their thumbs?
People don't wash their thumbs. It's an actual thing.
Something I was gonna say.
65.
I'm ignoring that because I don't give a shit about what you just said.
You not use your thumb to wash your hands?
Yeah, apparently. I found it very, very intriguing. Just imagining people just.
You know, you guys are on fucking
wash
camera,
my
Ashley and
hands.
Brandon. What the fuck you doing?
Not my thumbs.
What are you
We're talking
doing,
about our
guys?
daughter.
Jesus. No, we weren't.
Shut up.
What the hell? You have that for me. Why would we have you?
Liar.
Throw me under the bus.
So something I was gonna say is like going shopping and stuff like that is really fucking weird. Like, God damn it, Brandon, you're distracting me.
What? I don't know. Mind your business.
Okay, hold on. You gave me shit about my hair, but I have pictures of when you had long hair, and oh my God, you look like a fucking idiot, and I love it, but you look like an idiot. No, fuck you. No, he didn't. He looked like a fucking idiot. He looked like a fucking dumbass, all right? I look like a dumbass, and I'm fine with it. Yes, thank you. I agree, all right?
The nanny from the Willoughbys.
Jesus God.
Look it up. Google it right now. You got your computer over there.
That, honey.
Okay, something I was gonna say is like, I don't know if you've noticed this, you guys have noticed this, but like going shopping is really fucking, like, people like avoid you altogether. Like,
I love it.
Yeah.
I hate, like, I look up at someone and we'll make eye contact and they're like they do everything in their power to be like, nope, that didn't happen.
Like,
like holy shit.
Not a pleasant person then,
well,
dude.
I hated
What?
going shopping and bumping into people, and now nobody comes near me. And I'm like, I get in and I get out. There's no reason for anything else.
No, it freaks me out because like it's the awkward, like I hate shopping anyways, but now it's become like 10 times more awkward to shop. Like people like look at you and they're like, oh no, I'm gonna go the exact opposite direction. And I hate it so much.
Maybe with you.
What about the arrows on the
You wouldn't believe how many pleasant
floor.
nods I get when I'm at Price Chopper with you.
Why?
Because I'm friendly.
What? Are you saying I'm not, Dylan?
Yeah, probably.
That's
What do
friendly
you
as
mean?
me.
I'm literally the most friendly person in the world. Fuck you.
It's the hair. It's the hair.
Excuse me, Dwayne The Rock Johnson, anybody else, really.
No. There's definitely people who are way more friendly than Dwayne The Rock Johnson. He's just famous, so he gets to show everyone that he's like a nice person. There's definitely people who are nicer than him.
Terry Crews is awesome.
I agree.
Sure.
Name somebody nicer than Dwayne The Rock Johnson. Name somebody.
Brandon.
Yeah,
Not even
fucking
true.
right.
Okay. If I'm being absolutely serious, Brandon and Michael are probably the two nicest people I've ever met.
Go to hell.
Not you, Dylan. Fuck you. I don't give a shit about you. Get the fuck out of here.
Okay.
What the fuck, man? All
I
right.
feel so honored to be the nicest person, but also offended at the same time.
I mean, he said.
I
I feel like I have to go like
Harris is kind of full of shit.
punch a squirrel
I'm not full
or
of
something
shit.
just to make myself
Dylan, you don't know shit about me, Dylan, so shut the fuck up, all right? Sit down.
Wow,
God damn it.
Jesus Christ.
What the fuck were we talking about? We're talking about COVID.
Bro,
We're talking about how you're not pleasant enough to make a friendly nod.
I feel like I'm fairly nice to people, like strangers specifically, just because like I feel like.
You can't say you feel like you're nice
Oh,
to people.
are you guys strangers? Are you guys fucking strangers? No, I don't think you fucking are. No, I know you. Unfortunately, I have the fuck. Fuck you, Brandon. Like I know you. You're not a stranger.
Unfortunately,
Yeah,
I just
unfortunately.
got a compliment
God
backhanded.
damn it. Hate you. Hate you so much. Moving forward, because it seems like this COVID thing is progressively slowing down somewhat. Like it's kind of slow.
I don't think it is.
Okay, well, we're getting used to the idea at the very least, I think.
I think it's more of like the social media calm down because they're like, well, apparently the government's not like making it a big deal anymore. So I think social media being dimmed down has calmed people down. But I definitely like I feel like it's almost guaranteed that they're gonna spike and it's gonna be a larger spike by fall. I think it's pretty unlikely that this is done. Considering
I don't think it's done. I'm not saying it's like. I'm not saying that.
Thousands of cases.
I think something I actually is later, but I don't know if we'll get to it because it's already pretty late. But like something like I don't know if you saw like the tweets by Donald Trump basically saying that I'm being hyperbolic a bit, but basically like bleach and stuff like that is like a good way to like cure, like I'm being super hyperbolic and I'm not.
Inject it into you?
Yeah, basically. Do you think it's smart for people who have such a large influence to be saying stuff like that? Especially, the fucking president. Like,
I think technically anyone can say what they want, especially.
But should he? No. You're right. This isn't like what we can do. It's what ought we do. So, do you think someone who is in the position as he should he ought to do something like that?
Well, that's a very different question.
I think when you're when so many people can see your opinion, it's a lot different for you to have one. And I don't think that unless you're like really informed on something, I don't know, or you make it like super clear that it's your opinion and like people need to make up their own minds about it, you shouldn't be just like saying things as if they were a fact, like wording it like because when you say your opinion, you don't always say like, this is my opinion and like find your own like information, come to your own conclusions. Nobody like prefaces it like that. They say like, oh no, this is how it is, or like whatever. I think when that many people are watching you and can see what you're saying, you should just stay out of it unless you're like a doctor or something for this.
In defense of Trump, which is not something that I really ever say, he wasn't stating it as a fact. I saw the news clip. It was more of him trying to just suggest things to fix it. But the issue is that people take that as, like, they take it to extremes. Like, oh, wait, if he thinks this is a good idea, it has to be a good idea.
Right.
He wasn't saying, oh, this will definitely cure you, or this is the best option. He was like, maybe we could go about trying to find a way to inject cleaning products to kill, like, into the lungs. He wasn't like saying this works. He was like, oh, maybe. He was like looking to people like, maybe we could try and do this. But the issue is people take it as doctrine.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if you should just stay out of it. Like, I think if you're in a position where you can influence others, because the way society is that we see somebody who we don't know at all and have a bunch of eyes on them, has a bunch of followers, whether it's followers like online or in person, whatever. When we see that, we're like, oh, let me hear what this person's saying. And when you're younger, when you're older, you're obviously influenced by them. So I just think you need to be smart about what you say. I don't think that you should stay out of it or whatever. I think you should definitely have an opinion. I just think you should word it so that everyone stays safe.
That's
a lot of times when people have opinions like that, that's not what they're really thinking, because they are thinking about it from the rational perspective a lot of times, because that's what their opinion is viewed as. Like, they're not adjusting it to be the smart thing, because maybe that's what.
Fuck you, Ashley. I can't. My fucking headphones died. I don't know what to tell you. Fuck you.
Speaking of adjusting, Anthony over here trying to figure out which he wants closest to his ear, his hair or his headphones.
Oh my God.
You know what's interesting that I didn't see that you guys decided that you wanted to talk about? George Floyd.
Yeah, well,
I think
so
Andy had already had the
yeah. Also, I was thinking about adding it, but I don't know. It depends. You guys want to talk about everything that's happening in Minnesota? And
I think it's definitely a little late into the podcast right now. I can't be on
not today, but in general, I think you guys should. I mean, I'm gonna for the next one, but I think you guys should definitely talk about that. Awareness is such a huge thing. Like today.
Well, let's get everyone's like 5-second thing on it. So starting with you, Ashley.
She's like, fuck, go ahead, fucking talk. No, I just think it's your podcast, whatever. I just think that you guys should talk about it because like awareness is such a huge thing. Everyone's saying, oh, why
I'm so sorry, Ashley. I can mute him if you want.
everyone's saying like, oh, why can't you just protest in silence? But we've tried that, it didn't work. So people are getting, I think people don't understand that people are getting angry and people are getting upset. And as a woman of color, as someone who is afraid of the police, whenever I even speak to them, like I understand. And honestly, if somebody killed my son, I'd light that city up. I'd like that.
You guys are
city.
having another one?
No. George Floyd or somebody's son, you know.
Yeah, I know. I fucking know. God damn it, Ashley.
God, Harris, you need to fucking take it down. You're really aggressive today.
Are you attacking the? I'm muting you both, Brandon. She doesn't bring it down here, right, pal? I'm silencing the only brown-skinned person on the podcast.
Go ahead, do it, bitch.
Oh,
sorry.
You're not helping.
Okay, anyway.
You like her half. Can
So,
you do that?
anyways.
Damn.
Damn.
What? You hear him? He's like, I'm sorry about that. Anyways, so I just think awareness needs to be spread. Like, the looting.
Do you think the rioting? Do you think the rioting and looting is okay? Not necessarily both. You can have different opinions on both.
So I don't know as far as okay goes, because I feel like that's such a weird question. Like, do I think stealing and wrecking shit is generally okay? No. But do I think the way that they're acting is justified? Yes. They're pissed. They're angry that they're literally being taken down one by one, literally for the color of their skin, for the way that they look. Like, they're pissed. I get it. I understand. So do I think it's okay in general to like fuck a whole city up? No. But like, it's happened way too much. It literally has been happening every single day. New videos are popping up on social media. Like, the difference is that social media is huge. So we're going to record shit's going to pop up. It's going to be there. They're angry. And I completely understand why. I'm angry. And a bunch of people are taking a stand now. And I actually think it's actually a really amazing thing that everybody is like, I'm not Black, but I'm here for you. I'm spreading this awareness. I'm doing this. I'm doing that. Today, there was a 16-year-old boy who was like, oh, I'm tired of seeing Rip George Floyd. I went berserk. I was like, are you kidding me? Like, why? And he was like, well, it's just obnoxious how much it's around. I'm like, it's obnoxious how many Black men and women are dying just because of the color of their skin. It's about awareness. It's about figuring out what the fuck is going on. It's about addressing people that need to be addressed. You know? Anyway.
I don't think it's like justified though that they're wrecking the city because of it, because it's not. They're taking down some of the, like, I saw a video of Target being completely destroyed near the city, and Target had nothing to do with the George Floyd thing. It was just people being rude, and I think some people are definitely finding an excuse to do these things by his death, which isn't, I don't think that's necessarily right.
So some people are definitely benefiting from people being angry, but everyone started going crazy because of the George Floyd thing. Yes, some people are definitely just going into Target and being like, oh, free shit. But this whole thing started because everybody is tired of it. Everybody is tired of this happening. Like, I can't even, like, even thinking about it gets me so, like, emotional, worked up, because, like, it's so tiring. Like, I could 100% say that if I didn't have a daughter and I was living in where was Minneapolis? Yes, if I was living there, yeah, I would join. Like, I would be like, I'm pissed. This is it. This is enough. Like, so at one point, I think it's more about a statement that they were doing. Like, yes, a lot of people were abusing the whole riot or whatever, but I think it's more about a statement. I think it's more about, like, I read a post about a white guy being like, I participated in wrecking the city. Why? Because I want to prove that I can also be a target, but no, I'm unharmed while others are harmed. Like, it's like roughly about how he did a crime, but he's fine and others aren't. It's like this whole thing about, like, it's making a statement. It's making sure that people are heard. Like, I don't know if they should have done it, but I understand why they did.
But still, wrecking things though isn't isn't what you wouldn't have to do that to just be heard. If they wanted to be just heard, they could just protest like we used to do and just stand outside the state capitol buildings or whatever it is.
Yeah. But Martin, like a huge thing, Martin Luther King used to do that. Like he used to, and he changed the world, right? But here we are. We're back where we were, you know? Like I'm not saying that it's okay to act in violence, but here we are back where we have rights now. We have a lot more rights now, you know? We have a lot more than Martin could have dreamed of, but
Well, no.
But here we
yeah, I think he dreamed of all the rights, but
yeah.
Well, I actually have something to add on that with MLK. But in his day, those actions were seen as criminal. Like the peaceful protests, that was seen as like extreme criminal action. And
thank you, Dylan.
These days it isn't, but I honestly think that looting and stuff is like, I think that's getting to the point where the peaceful protests were in MLK's day, because right now,
looting?
Like there's a lot of violent action going on, and a big part of me is confused by it because you see how many like protests and marches and just overall social movements there have been, and there's been a lot of stagnation and social change, especially when it comes to violent behavior, hateful behavior within the country. In fact, things might be getting worse. And part of me is thinking that like the time, like social change isn't going to like happen at the degree that it needs to happen with like peaceful things.
So
I don't think violence is the answer a lot of times, but I honestly don't know if there's a lot of other options that can be done at this point.
Well, we used to do like sit-ins and stuff like that. Like we could peacefully protest. Everybody keeps saying that. We used to do sit-ins and stuff like that. But every single time those sit-ins happen, they would need to be trained to take literal physical beatings, yelling in the face, getting things thrown in their face, everything like that. They would need to be trained to withstand that. The difference between then and now is that then they thought that they were an outcast, but they were trying to prove that they weren't, if that makes sense.
When you say they, you mean African Americans, I assume?
African Americans, minorities, anything like that. Now, the difference is we know we have these rights. We know where we stand. We know, and we're not going to sit down and we're not going to be trained to be okay with getting spit in the face, getting strangled to death, getting shot down just because of our skin color. The difference is now is that we know and we're tired. Like, peaceful protesting can only take you so far. And for years, we've done peacefully protesting. So I really don't blame them for going fucking crazy.
See, I'm torn on this because on one hand, like something has to happen, obviously. And I think what this is getting at is like a problem within the system. Like this is definitely like, this is systematic racism that like Black Lives Matter is looking to like bring these like problems to light and stuff like that. And like, I'm all for that. Like Black people are definitely like, they lack a certain amount of privilege that like me, a white male, has. And, you know, that comes with like getting shot and stupid shit like that. So, but like on the other hand too, like destroying buildings that people work at, destroying
that who weren't even involved,
housing,
who weren't even involved, who may not even have the same opinion.
But in a way you could justify it. You could say this is like political violence. So it's like violence that's hoping to enact change. You could justify that, but that doesn't justify the looting. I don't think the looting is just like people taking, like, it's like you taking the Xbox from Target isn't like enacting any change whatsoever. You're just being a fucking like dick, I think.
And like the counterpoint to that actually is, I'm not sure if it was targeted, that Target in specific, but
it was
Target directly next to the precinct.
Cops. The precinct happened last night. The Target happened the night before, as well with like AutoZone, a lot of small businesses too, by the way.
Yes,
Target,
a lot of very small businesses
have a joint program with the police programs, with the police departments. I remember reading that they actually do have some involvement with police departments. I think it might have started in Minneapolis.
Wait, who? I'm sorry. Who has involvement?
Target.
Oh, okay.
They have some kind of joint programs around the country with police departments. I'm not entirely sure what it is, but I remember reading about it that Target may have actually been specifically targeted for this reason, because
no pun
it has
intended.
some supportive network to the police department.
Well, that's. I mean, just burn down the fucking
targeted,
precinct then.
But I also think that like as far as people who weren't even involved, I think that's also like a huge problem. Is like, I don't know. So like put it into like your brother, your sister, whatever is close to you, something like that happened to them. And you are pissed at the world. You're pissed at everybody because you're sitting there and you feel like nobody has helped you and nobody cares. And then you're watching the world go on around you while lives are being lost and nobody gives a fuck. So at that moment when you're like, enough is enough, these people may not have been directly involved, but there's still nobody helping. There's still nobody here saying, like, let's do this, let's do that. So even if they don't know them personally.
Well, of course there are. There are people who are doing that. That's what Black Lives Matter is for. Like.
Yeah, but as far as going, like, the people weren't even involved. Like, it's not about personally like that.
Well, no, I mean, in a way, but like a lot of small businesses, like these are like small businesses that are just getting off their like fucking feet, and now
they won't even be able to recover from this financially and things like that.
So, yeah, like those businesses are fucked. Like, and especially like in the aftermath, like, well, I don't know, aftermath of COVID, but like in the light of COVID, like these businesses were fucked anyways. Now they're more fucked. And
from a small business perspective, like my own, I can't even imagine if something like this were to happen to, we don't have infrastructure yet, but if say we had infrastructure in Minneapolis, we chose that as our starting routes, and we were just starting up, especially at the end of this pandemic, where starting up any business in general is twice as hard because of the economy and everything like that right now and all the stress. Having this would be a total loss. It would be a waste, all because of something you didn't do, but because of something that happened in your city you chose. So a poor choice of decision, and you get paid for it because people think it's justified to take out their anger on your place just because you were associated with the city, not necessarily a part of it, not necessarily anything to do with the police, but just because you were there, almost like wrong place, wrong time. And it's definitely, I definitely don't agree with it. I don't agree with the taking down small businesses that don't even have, there's no proof that they were involved at all. And that's like, my brother,
it was the cops who did this.
Yeah.
Like, I'm so fucking fine with the precincts getting burned down. Because
exactly, 100%.
That's like political violence that like there's a direct link, I think.
Yes.
But like burning down Targets and like small businesses and like, dude, I don't give a fuck. Lift over like fucking police cars and shit. But like these are other people now that you're like fucking over as well. And I think that's I don't know.
Well,
definitely not excusable.
Think of what would happen if a precinct gets fucking destroyed.
It did. They burned one down.
That's actually true.
It did. They burned one down. Okay, but there's also a lot major consequences to that also. But there's major consequences to anything. I mean, honestly, I feel like, yes, it would suck. And it's not something that's preferable. And it's obviously like, as a small business owner, Michael, or whatever, you know, that would suck. But during this time, like, people are angry, people are upset, people are sad. Like, I'm not saying it's excusable for them to take out small businesses or anything, but I'm just saying, like, brace yourselves, because this is probably like the least angry they can get. Like,
no,
well, it's definitely not the least angry.
Yeah, I think you could
it's
get
definitely not the
little
least angry.
Yeah,
Honestly, I can't see.
No, it can get worse. It can definitely get worse. And honestly,
destroying targets is like bad. Oh, it can get so much worse, and it's going to get worse. That's the thing, is that like it's been so long, and I feel like it's really hard to explain when, I don't know, it's just been so long, and I'm even really upset about it. And I'm not physically there. I don't know any of these people, but I've still been. I'm brown. I'm super light brown. Our baby is snow white, pasty. That's how light brown I am. And I've still been like, not a victim, but like I've been in situations where I felt uncomfortable because of my skin color. I've been in front of police officers and they've questioned me more than my friends. I've been in front of teachers where they've expected this from me and not from somebody else. Like, it's been happening all my life, and I can only imagine what it's like for other people that either have darker skin tone, are male, or older than me, anything like that. Like, I'm happy somebody's doing something about it. I'm happy like, fucking burn targets down, do whatever you need to do. Something needs to be done, something needs to be said, something needs to happen, because I keep seeing people dying, like, for no reason. People are losing their lives. Kids are losing their fathers. Like, imagine if I didn't come home to my daughter just because I got pulled over, but I moved my hand to the left when I was supposed to do it to the right. Like, imagine that. And that's not a lot that, like, Brandon doesn't need to worry about that. Like, I've even joked about it so many times, like, oh, we're getting pulled over, but Brandon, you talk, like, that's just, it's not something that, like, I don't know if you guys could imagine that. And I'm not trying to take anything away from you, but I can 100% imagine it. I literally train myself when a cop is coming up to me. It sounds really bad, but I'm like, use my smart voice, use my white people voice, because I'm like, be really nice, be really, like, keep my hands where they can see it, because I'm deathly afraid of being, like, taken out of the car, being me saying the wrong thing and them taking it differently. Like, I'm extremely scared of doing that. So I am so happy that something is finally happening. I'm happy that freaking people are rioting. I'm sorry, I'm happy about it. People need to go crazy. I'm happy about it. It needs to happen, because if
honestly, I can't see this issue being fixed in any capacity, because it's so deeply ingrained in American society, and it has been for literally, like, centuries.
But
we don't have an administration or any political
Say that again? Say that again, Ashley?
That's the mindset that doesn't change it, is that I don't see it changing because it's been in our culture. That's the mindset that doesn't change it. That's the mindset that keeps us where we are, is that it's been ingrained or whatever. That's
I think what Dylan was saying is that it's going to be a hard problem to solve.
No, what I'm saying is that, like, it's so badly ingrained that I can't see this being fixed without the country, like, burning the shit and then building itself up as something better.
I don't know about that. I hope to fucking God not, because that's
not literally. I don't think he means literally. I just think that he means a little bit of an uproar is needed, and
there needs to be an extreme social revolution in order to make people wake the fuck up enough to realize that there needs to be a lot of social change to go about, and not just with, like, law enforcement, like, with political administrations, just like honestly, just administrations in general outside of, like, the executive branch, like, within state government, like, local government, the federal government. There needs to be a lot of change countrywide. Otherwise, it's gonna kind of just sit there and continue to, like, infest people. Like, on both sides of the spectrum, people are going to continue to get angry, and people are going to continue to hate on both sides. It's just,
things just need to change in general. And I'm not just saying, but also I think a huge part of it is that we're focusing on African American males and stuff like that. But we also need to focus on I think we just need to treat each other equally in general. Because I'll see posts where it's like, oh, well, fuck all these white people, fuck all these white cops, fuck blah, blah, fuck all these cops. And that's not it. Like, at that moment, you're literally just flipping it. Like, you're doing the exact same thing that they're doing. What you should be working for, what you should be looking for is just equality in general, is just equal rights in general. Like, it should be no discrimination at all, because by you saying fuck all these white people, you're just as bad as them. Like, that's the thing, is that it's highly focused on focusing on the African American males as well, but you're literally like throwing fucking wood into the fire while you're saying like fuck all these people, blah blah. You're not helping. You're not making it seem like we're trying to go for equal rights when you're, I don't know, you're discriminating against them. Like, it doesn't make any sense. So I think it's like something that it's so twisted that it's like it causes such an uproar that it made it into this huge thing. I just want to make it so that I'm not only making it like, oh, African Americans are the best forever and only.
Wow, Ashley, what a racist.
I know.
There's just too much division. That's the issue.
Yeah, no, this is definitely a problem that's only going to get worse.
Yep.
Which is unfortunate, but.
Yeah.
But if it gets worse before it gets better, I'm completely okay with that.
It's been getting worse for years.
This is literally like, people are just like blowing up. Like, I remember like a while ago seeing like one of them, what is his name? Seeing one of like the very first post that I saw where this young man was like shot down for just because of the color of his skin. And oh my God, it was years ago. And I remember like bawling my eyes out because I was like, dude, I completely like, I can see that happening. And that's what sucks, is that I can see that happening. It wasn't like, I wasn't like completely surprised either that it happened, because it's something that happens all the time. Where was my point?
Here's a question. I'm half black. Should I care more about this? Is this
like this is
what?
I think everybody should care about it. I don't think you should care anymore just because you're black. I think everybody should care about it in general. I'm usually not so opinionated about things like this, but
honestly, like, people have different levels of comfort, and I personally I'm not a very outspoken person when it comes to a lot of stuff. Like, I find myself following this a lot, but I'm kind of scared of it in a lot of ways, because like it's just scary.
Yeah.
That I'm not in the right for being scared and not being outspoken in it. I know I'm not in the right for being in that position. But that's just how it is for me. I'm in a situation where I feel like I don't know how to speak out, and that scares me a lot, you know?
Well, good thing you're on this podcast talking about it. This is how you do it, Dylan.
Okay.
I think
Oh, I forgot we were on the podcast.
I think the thing is that I'm usually not like, I usually don't get deep into
I do not
things like
believe you. I know what you're gonna say, but I don't believe you.
Yeah,
right?
Such an Ashley, you're such an outspoken person. There's nothing wrong with that. That's a fucking good thing. Kill it.
No, I'm an outspoken person. I'm
Okay,
not taking that away from
so don't act like you're not then. Don't say, oh, I'm not an outspoken person. Say, oh yeah, I'm an outspoken person.
Hold on. I usually just don't get crazy about things like this.
Oh, I don't believe that's fair.
It's not right though. Come on. I usually don't get too deep into it.
With the amount of passion right now.
Yeah, you have
being
that's
spoken.
That's a good thing.
Yeah, it's not bad. Not bad at all.
Hold on. I will take pride in being outspoken. I love being opinionated. But for things like this, I kind of try and stay out of the way because of the fact that long conversations like this happen and stuff like that. Like, I will spread awareness, but I usually will not go into this huge thing.
Don't you think long conversations like this are a good way to spread awareness? Like, honestly, like, quite frankly, I think half the problem is people aren't talking about this. They're just reading on the news.
Yeah.
They talk about it with their significant other, child, whatever fuck. But like, there's no fucking, like, there's no mediation happening, I feel like.
I completely understand that. But when you are a little brown girl and you're speaking to, say, your white coworker that has been there for 3 years, you don't want to start a huge thing about African American males being shot down. That's not a smart move on your account if you want to keep your job. So it's all about time and place. It's all about not knowing what matters, but I can definitely say that there have been times where I'm like, I don't want to lose my job, or I don't want to start this fight right now. I don't want to get my friend kicked out of school. Like there's been like time and place kind of thing. Like I usually don't get too deep into this because of the fact that like the majority of people I talk to are white, and a lot of them will either be in a group or something like that. Like you can only go so far. Like I will spread awareness, but as far as an argument and stuff like that goes, like depending on the group, I usually don't go that deep into it. Because you'll either get attacked or you're just in a bad situation, like at work or something like that. You know what I mean? Jody? No.
I mean, no, I get what you're saying. It's never happened to me.
You don't speak out, yeah.
No,
I usually don't get too worked about. But to answer your question, I think everybody should care, whether you're half black, whether you're Jewish, whether you're this, whether you're that, whether you're Chinese, whether you look like, what is it, the nanny? I don't care.
Oh, okay.
Everybody should care about it. Everybody should care about not just George Floyd, but everybody should care about all the lives that have been lost for no reason.
So, I mean, I was going to get into something with saying I was half black, but it's so fucking late now. Michael actually had to leave because he's got a bedtime. He's a little bitch.
I do have bedtime too, actually.
Yeah, you guys also have bedtime. Does anyone have anything else they want to say before we skedaddle?
R.I.P. George Floyd.
Anything from you, Dylan?
He goes,
Yeah.
What about you, Brandon?
I mean, okay, so I think that like I'm kind of on both sides of this whole thing. Like I understand that like the peaceful protests
Fuck you.
haven't been getting anywhere, like obviously. And so I don't think the riots are necessarily a bad thing, but like as far as like the small businesses go, I do think it's a little like that's not really the point of why you're doing that. So it should be more like, yeah, like you said, Eric, like burn the police station, sure, flip cop cars, like go after stuff that's gonna affect what you're trying to fight against. Like if Target like is going out releasing statements about how like the police are right or whatever, burn a fucking Target, sure. But like if you were to look at it from outside, like you didn't know why they were rioting, and you were to look at it, you would still have no idea because they're going after a Target and Ace Hardware, like this mom and pop shop that just opened up. Like, yeah, the police station, but like
we also don't know, like we're seeing the very broad things, but we also don't know any of the personal relationships that have gone on between like that small business owner and whoever is like in that.
Right.
Like we don't know. Speaking.
Yeah, but that's they're doing this for George Floyd, not because of.
Okay, but you don't know.
If I can throw something in there, actually.
But this started because of George Floyd.
Okay, but
so what she's saying is like we don't know if like we're in New Hampshire. We have no idea if that like that shop is like a racist shop or
yeah,
something.
it has like a Confederate flag.
Right,
like,
we have no idea
If
what's
I
going
can
on.
actually throw something in there,
No,
one, I think thinking about small businesses in this scenario is a little bit small picture because of the fact that riots are
right.
They are meant. That's what they are. They're not peaceful protests. They are literally like they become violent for a reason.
Yeah.
And there are people that will take advantage of that violence and they'll take advantage of the chaos. So you can't blame the not everyone that's part of the protest or the riot is going to loot.
And not every white person's a racist, so don't burn down small businesses.
Well, what?
No, but I understand what Dylan's saying though. Like they're
like it's not even that.
It's because of this, and there's gonna be people who just like join in because they're like, Well, we get
it's a riot. We have to loot,
we
you
get to
know?
burn shit now. Like,
It's not people going to destroy small businesses because they want to destroy small
right,
businesses.
it's kind of like collateral
It's people
damage.
going into it with the intention of taking advantage of the chaos.
Yeah, and obviously not only George Floyd like protesters are going to be in that huge group. Like, there's going to be people that just jump in and are like, oh, yay.
Well, see, my problem with this argument is it's the same argument that people at Charlottesville made. Do you remember, like, the thing at Charlottesville where, like, it was that fucking, like, convention supposed to be for white people, and then it turned into a KKK convention. And it was the same people, like, no, we're just here about peacefulness. But then, like, the whole thing became a KKK convention because, like, I'm being very, like, I'm dumbing it down quite a bit. But
in this case, some eggs are definitely going to be broken.
And couldn't they say that about Charlottesville, though?
I can't say I have a lot of knowledge on the Charlottesville stuff.
No, good. Like Pumpkin Fest or whatever it was at Keene, right?
Yeah,
it was at Keene? Pumpkin Fest? Like at Keene. A bunch of schools came to Keene and fuck shit up. But everybody thinks that Keene is just shit because of that. And everybody thinks it was Keene. Everybody who I asked says Keene, blah, blah, Pumpkin Fest, blah, blah. Everybody thinks it was Keene. But it was not Keene at all. It was all the schools coming in. But it was mostly the schools coming in. Why are you doing that? It was mostly the schools. Stop sending Harris hearts.
What are you talking about?
It was mostly other schools. That's the thing, is that you never know the actual things going on. It is bad representation. I think a lot of people are frustrated because they wanted this whole George Floyd thing to be one direction and it ended up turning this direction. Like, I'm sure a lot of people are like, oh, I had nothing to do with that small business. I wasn't intending for that small business to get hurt or anything like that. I'm sure it's going to happen like that, but a riot is a riot. Like, you have to think like, oh, a riot's happening. I need to protect myself. I need to do this. I need to do that. Like, there's not much you can do. I'm yelling and I'm waking up my daughter.
Yeah, but I understand that point. Like,
and then there were
like, yeah, the riots started out because of this. There's people just joining in, so I'm not like upset about the riots or anything. Like, I think they should obviously try not to attack places that had nothing to do with it, but like the points being made about how not everyone in those riots are actually there for that reason. Like, I get that there's going to be some kind of collateral damage and stuff. So I don't think they were really like a terrible thing. I don't think that, like, yeah, it sucks that they've been getting hit by it, but okay.
Well, the thing about a riot is that it is angry, it is violent, it is chaos. And that's exactly what you can expect from it. It's just going to be that. Is it just me and you now, Harris?
Brandon will be back in a second because I got to close.
Well, that's yeah. But yeah, in the end, like, that's what a riot is going to be. And in these situations where people are being so, like, have reason to get so angry and do so, peaceful protests aren't going to be what happens, especially not in the beginning.
Yeah. No,
people are going to riot, and when there's riot, there's going to be looting, and in something
not necessarily,
so chaotic,
not necessarily. There's definitely been rioting without looting. They're not.
Yeah. Well, yeah, but let's be honest. A lot of times when you see riots, there's going to be a lot of violence.
But I think we can at the very least sympathize or approve of the riot without saying, oh, the looting, it's the looting's, I think, probably the most base and stupid thing you can be doing. Like, it's not like furthering anything. You're literally taking advantage of a horrible situation and
I still think that's like, I think that's a little bit small picture in the case of the larger area, because eggs are going to be broken. Bad things are going to happen to people that don't.
But yeah, we can say that, but we don't have to justify it. We don't have to justify it. Like, I think, at least I will say that looting is definitively like a wrong thing to do. It is objectively wrong.
I agree with you.
So we don't have to justify it. We can say, oh, eggs will be cracked, but like, it's a bad thing.
I mean, I agree with you there. It's definitely not something that should happen. It's morally, it is a bad thing, especially to people that have no deserve it. They don't deserve it. They're literally just caught in the crossfire.
Yeah.
That's just the nature of it. But that's what happens in the chaos sometimes. Like, people get caught in the crossfire and it sucks. And you wish it doesn't happen. Civilians get caught in bombs when it's meant to be for specific groups of individuals. People get caught in crossfire in times of chaos. And yeah, it's heartbreaking, but in the end, that's the nature of,
Yeah. It's just, yeah. All right. I think we're going to stop there. Thank you so much, Dylan, being the only guest left. We appreciate you and we love you.
Okay.
Do you have anything you want to shout out for yourself?
Nope.
All right.
I have nothing going on in life.
Brandon's frozen, but we also want to thank Ashley for coming on. Thank you, Ashley, for coming on. And then Michael, thank you for coming on. I fucking hate you. He also wanted to throw out his small business. What is it called? It's called Body Fitness Athletics. I'll probably have the link down in the description so you can go follow their Instagram page.
That's not the name.
Body. Well, you'll find out in the description. It's body something. I don't even have Instagram right now. Well, Tough Body Athletics. So embarrassing.
That sounds better.
It's Tough Body. It's Tough Body Athletics. That's what it is.
I guess I'm the co-host now.
Yeah, awkward.
I've been promoted.
Hold on. Let's see if Brandon can get back on real quick. All right, we're gonna end like that. Wow.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Dylan, for being our sub co-host for the end. Fun. You can find Dylan nowhere because he has nothing to shut out.
Yep. I'm a ghost.
All right. Thanks for watching, everyone. Take it easy.